Now, I briefly want to consider, was Lefebvre a Sedevacantist towards the end of his life? Now, I did a video called Was Marcel Lefebvre a Closet Sedevacantist already? And I go through a ton of quotes from Lefebvre that would necessitate the view that he was a Sedevacantist towards the end of his life. He never explicitly identified as one, but he did express some views that would necessarily mean he was a Sedevacantist. Now, it could be that he was inconsistent with his own positions that would necessitate that he be a Sedevacantist, maybe, but you would have to argue at that point that he was intellectually bankrupt and really didn't understand the basic consequences of his own views that are really explicitly clear and immediate consequences of his own views. And I don't know if anyone could really argue that. So it'd be pretty hard to Lefebvre-splain to the point that you would say, well, I guess he just didn't realize his view would mean that he's a Sedevacantist. So it would really seem that he became a Sedevacantist towards the end of his life, but he never came out and actually said that. I did that video because the SSPX says it parts ways with Vigano insofar he is a Sedevacantist, and I pointed out that's weird because Lefebvre really does appear to have become one towards the end of his life. So was this really a departure from Lefebvre? You know, what Vigano is doing? This is why some people broke away from the SSPX and ended up saying that the SSPX just kind of became too modernist. In fact, I'm going to show you a schismatic bishop who used to be part of the SSPX, but he also severed from them and then was ordained a bishop, consecrated a bishop, because he left SSPX because he felt they were becoming too modernist. So some people say Vigano is actually carrying out the agenda of Lefebvre and the SSPX more faithfully than the SSPX today. Well, that might be true, especially if Lefebvre was a Sedevacantist at the end of his life. It seems there is not only evidence insofar as his view would necessarily lead to Sedevacantism, but also because this schismatic bishop, who again is formerly SSPX, notes that Lefebvre, towards the end of his life, stopped saying Pope Francis, I'm sorry, not Pope Francis, the Pope's name, which would be John Paul II at the time, JP2's name during the Mass, which would be an act of schism. And it would be to say that the Pope actually isn't the Pope, that we don't have a Pope. So I want to play that for you because it further substantiates the thesis that Lefebvre became a Sedevacantist towards the end of his life. I find it hard to argue otherwise in light of the overwhelming evidence. Okay, so this is Bishop Pierre Roy, again, formerly SSPX priest, parted ways with the SSPX because he felt they were too liberal, too modern, too modernist. Getting too cozy with modernist Rome, and so he broke away with them, and then he was consecrated a bishop by De Silva, I think is who it was. Okay, so he's a schismatic Sedevacantist bishop. Here's what he says.
Impossible, but as Bishop Williamson said one time, or maybe many times, the true Archbishop Lefebvre is to be found in one action that he, after a long hesitation, decided to do, which is the 1988 consecration of the four bishops. And I have known personally Father Épinay, who was the confessor of Archbishop Lefebvre, and who, if I'm right, was the one at his deathbed. And I would visit him. He was a priest who joined Archbishop Lefebvre, a priest who actually, I think, was sent to Archbishop Lefebvre by the Bishop of Sion, the diocese in which the seminary of Écône is established. So he was sent to Archbishop Lefebvre to try and convince him to so-called, come back in the church, but he joined Archbishop Lefebvre, so it went the other way around. And Father Épinay told me personally, so many times, that after the 1988 consecration, Archbishop Lefebvre would not anymore mention the name of John Paul II in the canon of the Mass.
Let me stop there. You heard that correctly. He is saying that after the 88 consecrations, that which triggered an automatic excommunication for Lefebvre, that SSPX are still in denial about. Well, he notes that the personal confessor of Lefebvre said that after the 88 consecrations, Lefebvre no longer said the name of the Pope during the Mass. That would only be because he no longer believed that he was a Pope. There's no other explanation for it. So not only do we have Lefebvre saying things that would necessitate the view that he is or was a Sedevacantist, but also you now have this, the confessor of Lefebvre saying, yeah, he stopped saying the name of the Pope. Wow. Wow. Let's see how the SSPX apologists try to spin this one. Let's see some Lefebvre splaining, guys. Come on now. You got time to harass people on their cell phone. You got time to call up people's employers and try to get them fired. I bet you got time to search this one, right? To look into this one. Go ahead and spin that one. Let's see how you do that. Y'all know who you are.
So, I'm not lying about this. I have no reasons to believe that Father Épinay lied about it. And that's what he told me multiple times. So I do believe that at the end of his life, Archbishop Lefebvre, once he had finally made his mind to consecrate the 4 bishops, was much clearer than before in his position. And I don't believe that today he could recognize somebody as Francis as being the vicar of our Lord Jesus Christ. I don't see how that would be possible. I'm sure that.
Wow. So there you go. Let's see how they put a spin on that one, and Lefebvre splain and Schism splain that one. I look forward to it. But that's something that they have to grapple with. Now, again, the odd thing is, if he became a Sedevacantist towards the end of his life, and it really looks like Lefebvre did, and now the SSPX is telling us that to deny that Francis is the Pope and become a Sedevacantist is a departure from Lefebvre. That means it's actually the SSPX now that is not consistent with its founder, Lefebvre. And that means that it's the SSPX that is becoming more modernist and inconsistent with its founder. And that then means it's actually Vigano who is more consistent with the mission of Lefebvre than the SSPX today. So this is really weird because it forces people who love both the SSPX and Vigano, it forces them to make a decision and determine which way they're going to go, because these are mutually exclusive ways. Are you going to go the way of the new SSPX? This seems to be parting ways with its own founder, but they're in denial that they're doing that. Or are you going to go with Vigano, who's a Sedevacantist, excommunicated schismatic, and you're going to go with him, even though the SSPX is saying, actually, that's not in keeping with Lefebvre, when in reality, it kind of looks like Vigano is more consistent with Lefebvre's mission than the SSPX today. Now, I would suggest neither path, neither Vigano nor the SSPX, because all of it is schismatic. All of it will send you to hell. Don't go to any of that. Stay in communion with the Pope and enter into communion with him if you're not already. Pope Francis. And turn away from all this other stuff. Everybody hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. If you appreciate what I'm doing here with the channel, patreon.com/Reason and Theology. God bless.